everyone. We're excited today to have Julie Boyle of Nebraska's Extension and Jeff Cole of the Nebraska After School Alliance, the Partnership for Children. Um, just first off, this is Michelle from the Iowa After School Alliance, and I wanted to just remind everyone that we have two institutes upcoming in August in Council Bluffs and in Dubuque in September. The participation of at least yourself and hopefully a team is required at one of those. So for those that are on the western side of the state, we hope that August 9th in Council Bluffs works best for you. And then we hope on the eastern side that Dubuque works best for you on September 26th. But then those that are in the middle of the state, you can choose one or the other. So if you have any questions, please give me a holler and we can talk through participation at those institutes. Today we're excited to talk about some maker spaces, mobile maker spaces that Nebraska Extension and Jeff's organization, the Nebraska After School Network, has been partnering with Sioux Cities Beyond the Bell. So they wanted to talk to you about what this partnership looks like and what they're doing with these mobile maker spaces. So I want to hand it over to Julie and Jeff and welcome them to Iowa, at least remotely. Welcome. Thank you, guys.
Great. Well, thank you, Michelle. We appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity to give a little bit of an overview on this project that really has been pretty transformative for us in Nebraska. And we call it the Think Gate Labs. We shorten that to TMC Labs. And we really designed this to, in particular to enhance rural out-of-school time programs. But we've really found it to be very popular for programs across the state. So I don't know who advanced the slide. I'm going to advance the slide. There we go. So, yeah, I'll just give you kind of a quick overview of what they are. And TMC Labs are mobile kind of tinkering and pre-making platforms. That's kind of how I characterize them. They're 7 by 12 trailers that we kind of do a custom build out. They're actually manufactured in Iowa. So manufactured in Iowa, we import them here. Price has recently gone up because of the steel tariff, so we're feeling the brunt of the price increase with that. But they are nevertheless very low-priced tools. So the total cost of the trailer plus the build-out plus supplies that we put in them plus a graphics package is right at $7,500, and we worked really hard to bring a price, to develop it at a price that we thought would be something that rural communities could manage to support. That was a very important design concept for us. We experimented with a couple of different sizes. We did a 6 by 12 trailer, and while that worked, we found the 7 by 12 as a more versatile space. We went the trailer route because, again, designing it for rural Nebraska, we felt like there was an abundance of vehicles with trailer hitches, and again, wanted to keep that price point low. So by virtue of not having it as a mechanized vehicle, really brought the price down, $20,000, and we felt like we didn't lose much of the functionality with that. And we've experimented with the programming that goes into it. So essentially, we build a series of custom designed shelving units that go into the trailer shell, and we have designed those on a platform that can be easily replicated by a CNC router. So these are these computer-assisted cutting devices that allow us to use plywood as the primary building material. And by doing that, that really brought the price point down. And so we created it in a way that facilitates tub-based activities. So we have a variety of materials that can be that are loaded into the TMC, and then we've designed about 50 activities you can do with the materials that come preloaded in the TMC. And so what we've done in Nebraska is find partners who are willing to fund these, and then we gift them to communities. So we now have around 20 of them. I think 19 are currently in use across the state, and we have orders for 4 more that we'll be building out this summer. So we partner with communities that have some funding, that want to build their own. The design that we've developed, as I mentioned before, was really intentionally created to help support rural build-outs. And so you can partner with like a Skills USA program at a high school and easily, build out the interior of the trailer in a couple of days. So that's been an exciting kind of addition as we've kind of moved forward with this project, is finding out new ways to use the TMC. And we really like the high school connection, where we're working with high schools to get high school students involved in building TMC labs that'll be used by elementary and middle schools in their districts. So we've started sharing our model with other states, and actually have licensing agreements with Wyoming and Louisiana and 2 other states I think we're about to finalize license agreements with, where we're sharing all of kind of the intellectual capital that we put into the development of the TMC here in Nebraska, the blueprints, the construction guides, videos, those kinds of things, through a website that we crafted just for the TMC. So if you want to advance to the next slide. So for us, as Nebraska Statewide After School Network, we're a program, as Michelle mentioned, of Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, and we're branded as Beyond School Bells, not Beyond the Bell, as is the case with the Iowa-based provider, but our name is Beyond School Bells. So Beyond School Bells really sees a lot of value with the TMC as a platform for creating partnerships. We've seen a lot of partnerships emerge around the TMC, both for us at the state level, but then importantly for our communities. And so one of the functions of the TMC is that it's a billboard for local communities. And so we encourage communities to get sponsorships from local businesses and to add their logo to the TMC so that it becomes a mobile billboard for that company's sponsorship of the after-school program. So that's been, I think, one of the design elements that's proven to be pretty effective, and as we've seen this scale up across the state. The other piece is the quality. Beyond School Bells really advocates for STEM-rich after-school programs, and I know in Iowa we've got a really strong state STEM plan. And one of the things that we really have seen the communities utilizing the TMC for is that early kind of on-ramp to get kids thinking about themselves as creative problem solvers and using everyday tools to make things. So they come preloaded with like Kinects and Legos and small engines and circuits, those kinds of things that allow them to kind of play around and solve problems with the materials on a TMC. And then the last piece for us as a network has been important is just the enhanced visibility these TMCs bring to a community's after-school program. And, this was not something we really initially designed, but found that, there's something very attractive to media about a TMC rolling into town. So we've gotten a lot of media coverage and local press about the TMCs, and it's really raised the profile of after school in communities across the state where after school really wasn't getting the attention it deserved. So as we've seen those benefits for the network, we've also seen similar things, spill over to the local communities. The TMCs have been great magnets for local partnerships and local volunteers to kind of step forward. They'd like to do some So it's been I think a win-win for us and the communities. It's most obviously giving them some additional storage capacity. It's in essence a trailer, so it provides that storage capacity role. But communities have really leaned into the STEM programming side of the equation and done some pretty creative things. So with that, I'll turn it over to Julie to kind of talk about some of the work that she's been doing with her TMC in the South Sioux area and that kind of northeastern region of Nebraska.
Okay, so my name is Julie Boyle, and I work with Nebraska Extension. And like Jeff said, I am working with the trailer in South Sioux City, but I've also worked with it in Columbus, Schuyler, and Norfolk. And they've kind of functioned in different ways. In Schuyler, Norfolk, and Columbus, the after-school programs have kind of took it over and did their own programming. And in South Sioux, I am actually the one doing the programming. And the trailer has a variety of materials that I've used, and I've done activities such as some unplugged coding. So they use pony beads to code their name or words that they want put on a bracelet or a necklace. And then we've also done some coding activities where they have to write out their own code and then kind of act it out. I've also partnered with the food and nutrition extension educator in my office to teach about pollinators and gardening. I've done aerodynamics with paper airplanes. We've talked about weather, doing windsocks and kites and tornado in a bottle, all different kinds of stuff there. And then Jeff mentioned the Connects and Legos. So you do different engineering challenges with those. Talk a lot about the engineering design process. Of course, with the kindergartners, first graders, that kind of age group, you want to go through the engineering design process and get that into their mind. But with the older kids, the fourth and fifth graders, you can get a little bit more in depth and have them do a few more steps in how they go through that. And then there's some art supplies in there. I've done some different art concepts, talked about like abstract art, and have them make their own abstract paintings. And then Jeff mentioned partnerships, and some of the partnerships in South Sioux that we've built so far are YMCA. This summer I'm doing some programming with the YMCA. They have different themed camps throughout the summer, so I'll be doing some with that. And then there's an actual makerspace here in Sioux City that holds events that they have asked me to come do some activities. They have different businesses and organizations that come through to do activities with family and classrooms that come through. And then Support Siouxland Soldiers is another organization I've worked with. They host family events, so they asked me to come do activities at some of those family events. And then, of course, the school and after-school program. This summer, one of my goals is to get out and start getting some businesses, business sponsorships, so we can replenish some supplies and see what else we can put into the trailer. The trailer is really awesome to do the STEM programming and get the kids into that creative and imaginative play area where they might not see that so much during the school day. That's where our after-school programs really come into play and give them that chance to be creative and find new interests and foster those passions that they have that they don't necessarily get to do during the day. So that's kind of a short overview of what I've done in South Sioux and the Columbus, Schuyler, Norfolk area. Does anybody have any questions?
Julie, I'm wondering how the kids have reacted to this. This is Michelle from the IAA. How have the students you're working with reacted to the makerspace, and what kind of impacts are you seeing there?
They absolutely love it. So in South Sioux, there's 5 schools, and I go to each school. This last semester, I went to each school for 3 weeks, and I was there for 2 weeks the first semester of the last school year. And those kids remembered me, and they remembered the activities that we did. They could tell me what they learned. So it really is making a great impact, and they love it. They want it to come back. They want it to come back all year round. So from that standpoint, the kids are so engaged. I very, very rarely have any behavior problems because they are so engaged. And then the staff love it because the kids love it, and they don't have any issues with somebody coming in and working with the students. So it's been phenomenal how well the students and staff work with me and receive what I have to offer.
And I can throw in another example. One of the other communities we've been working with has one TMC that they're using to support kind of pop-up after school in 10 elementary schools that make up their district. And so it rotates around on a 2-week basis, and they do some advertising before it gets there and saying, hey, this thing is coming, you really want to sign up for this program, that kind of a thing. And they've had such good response that at the end of 2 weeks, the principals were like, hey, we've got to do something to kind of keep this energy going in our buildings. And so we were able to provide some small grants to those 10 buildings so that they have kind of a basic makerspace activity that they can continue to use after the TMC leaves. But there really is something about that novelty of something kind of coming in and popping up, and the kids get really excited about it. It brings kind of a new energy into the space. And that's one other thing I'll kind of comment on is we've started seeing communities use it kind of as a pop-up classroom where they can take learning on the road. And we've been doing these, what we call bio blitzes. They're one-day kind of environmental inventories where they'll go out to some kind of a park or a nature reserve and do one-day counts of different types of biological diversity, and they use the TMC kind of as a field station. So in addition to kind of the maker activities, they come preloaded with a 12 by 12 canopy that creates kind of a pop-up classroom, as well as some fold-out tables and chairs, so that you can really take learning into the community. One of the ideas that we've had is setting it up in a Walmart parking lot and doing some activities, while parents are shopping, or taking it to a food bank and having some activities while parents are getting in line for food distribution. So there's a lot of versatility you can do with the TMC because of its mobility. And the idea is that, kind of central to after school is that learning takes place all the time. And we need to create more of those learning opportunities that take advantage of families and kids of where they are, and provide these kind of enriched opportunities that engage the imagination. So we're really pushing a lot for these kinds of pop-up activities to take place more and more across the state.
Can I chime in as well?
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Okay, good. This is Jenna. I don't really have anything new to say what Julie and Jeff have already said, but I just want to reiterate that, like, I agree with everything. It's been so amazing to have this available in our programs. Michelle, you had asked, like, the impact on kids, and I'll just expand on what Julie said there, too. Like, it's true. They get so bummed when their, like, 2 or 3 week time is up with that trailer and they have to, let another school borrow it because they love doing it. They would do it for the entirety of the program every day, all week long if they could, because the activities that they can do with it just really, like I said, it excites them, it gets their little brains working, and they love it. So we feel very fortunate that we have had this opportunity to basically kick off our program on the Nebraska side, and then we're just going to keep expanding on what we're doing, and so it's been an amazing opportunity.
Thank you, Jenna. I know that a few couldn't access the webinar, the PowerPoint on Connect. I'm sorry about that, but thank you for joining over the phone. Lisa had a question whether or not kids can get in the trailer or if the activities happen all outside of it. And Jeff says it's a bit too small for kids to get inside for programming. It's more of a base that staff use to get new materials out into the program. So the trailer has all the materials you need to do these different STEM activities or maker activities, and it's not designed to do programming inside.
Michelle, I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
The trailer that I have here in South Sioux, we have a tent and a couple tables in it.
Oh, okay.
So I can take those out and do some activities right outside of the trailer. The other things that I have done with the kids in the after school program here is the first couple days that I'm there, I try to let everybody go in and take a look around and see what's in the trailer. That way I can get ideas from them on what they might want to do. And it just gives them a little bit more ownership of the activities that they're doing after school. So it's a little bit more fun for them and a little bit more engaging.
Thank you. Mary Lou asks if they go to local parks in the summer, and how do you market it to programs? And Jeff says yes, they do go to local parks, and they have been working closely with Nebraska's 21st Century programs.
And then the trailer that I have here, I've been working with Macy this summer. They have a summer program, rec program that they do. So I've been doing activities with them twice a week. And then we have Nebraska Extension has a program called Teens as Teachers, where we hire two local teams to do some programming throughout the summer, and they are trying to come up with ideas that they will run at some of the local parks here in Dakota City and South Sioux City. So I will be doing activities there. So yes, we do go to local parks. I am going to. My summer's gotten pretty crazy, but I'm going to try and do some pop-up events at the local parks and just advertise through the chamber and the local newspapers. But really, the trailer kind of markets itself.
Yeah.
Once people hear about it, they get a hold of you and they want you to come do stuff.
I bet. How do you train staff, or how do you equip staff in programs, thinking about organized programs, not the pop-up events, to utilize the maker materials with youth?
So I have done some quick to science STEM trainings with the staff in South Sioux. But really, with the way the trailer is set up, it's really easy for staff to jump in and kind of find something that they're interested in, to make it easier for them to teach, because not everybody wants to teach science or engineering or math. So it's set up so they can, at least in my mind, it's set up so they can find something that they know that they can teach and they're good at.
Yeah, that was one of our challenges at Beyond School Bells. We don't do a lot of professional development. That's not our strong suit. So we really tried to design this to be pretty straightforward. We did create a couple of training videos that people who get a TMC can use. But then, as Julie mentioned, we really promote Click to Science PD as the tool that staff can use to kind of understand how to run effective, kind of low-tech STEM programming using the materials on the TMC. But we've got a couple of those that we designed, as it's delivered to a new community to kind of get them comfortable with all the functionality of it. And then we have pretty simple activity guides that are linked back to the supplies in the trailer.
That's great to know. Well, we had, go ahead.
There are several websites out there that you can find activity and lesson plans that kind of give you the background and the science behind different things. One of the ones that I use a lot is Science Buddies, and every activity I've found on that website, I have all of the materials in the trailer. So it's got enough materials that it's easy to find activities. And I've heard a lot of people say after school, Pinterest is your best friend. So there are a lot of websites out there that you can find that research-based and activities with the explanation behind what's happening in activity. So if you aren't necessarily comfortable with teaching STEM stuff, it is kind of laid out there for you.
Great. And there's also always the Dimensions of Success tool to develop your own lesson plans for STEM too.
Yeah.
Great. Does anybody else have any questions for Jeff or Julie? I'm wondering if people could indicate their interest in bringing something like this to Iowa and to your communities. Do people's interest piqued by this? Well, I think an indication of interest is just the number of people on today. I